Hola clase, this video is about me gusta. We're learning in this unit about how to say that we like and don't like things. And I heard some great questions in class today, so I wanted to address some of those just to clarify in English what's going on with the grammar and kind of the translation of this phrase me gusta or no me gusta, I don't like. So you know that me gusta means I like, and we have me gusta mucho means I like a lot, and me gusta más is I like more. So you could say, for example, me gusta escuchar música, or me gusta mucho, I like a lot, escuchar música. Me gusta, I like to listen to music. Me gusta mucho, I like a lot to listen to music. I like very much. And then me gusta más, that's for if you're comparing two things. I'll show you how that works. For example, I could say, so this one's with a verb here, I like to listen to music, but I could also say, with a noun, me gusta el rap. I like rap, or I like rap music. Me gusta el rap. Me gusta mucho el rap, right? But I could say me gusta más el hip hop. So me gusta el rap, or me gusta mucho el rap, but I like better me gusta más el hip hop. That's a way of comparing two things with me gusta más. Then you could say no me gusta, that's the negative. No me gusta escuchar música. I don't like listening to music. Or no me gusta nada escuchar música. I hate or I don't like at all listening to music. Notice that in Spanish, the literal translation would be, I don't like nothing listening to music. Remember that not everything is literally translated from English to Spanish, so no me gusta nada, I don't like at all to listen to music. You know that literally nada means nothing. No me gusta nada escuchar música. I don't like it at all. So let's dig deeper into these phrases. You might have noticed that in your workbook, there's a little thing in parentheses here with some of the phrases. It says me, me. Literally, that's to me. And we'll come back to that later. If you're curious about that, that's a good thing. It's important. It's actually super common in Spanish to hear people saying a mí me gusta or a ti te gusta, to have this little extra part that we see in your workbook in parentheses. What's it for? It's really just for emphasis or for contrast. I wrote it here in Spanish, énfasis, because that a mí is like kind of like saying I like. It's like an extra emphasis on the person who is doing the liking, right? But actually, the phrase me gusta in Spanish is really interesting in that it's not literally translated into English. So when you say me gusta, what you're actually saying is to me. That me means to me, and gusta actually means it pleases. So when you're saying I like to dance in Spanish, for example, me gusta bailar, you're literally saying to me it pleases to dance. And again, that in Spanish would be, can you think of that phrase in Spanish? Me gusta, and the word for to dance, bailar. Me gusta bailar. Right? Literally, that should be, to me, it pleases to dance. But we know that not everything is literally translated from English into Spanish or from Spanish into English. Different languages have different ways of expressing likes and dislikes. Another way to think of that is if we say in English, I like rap. In Spanish, it would be me gusta el rap. We always use that el or la when we're talking about things that we like. I like the rap. Literally, that's to me, it pleases the rap. If that sounds weird to you, just realize that it's kind of the same thing as saying rap pleases me, which is a typical way to say that in Spanish. When we like something, we say it pleases me. Right? Remember that actually, too, it's interesting here, you're the subject of the sentence, I like rap, but here the subject of the sentence is actually the thing that you like. Rap pleases me becomes the subject, and you become the object of the sentence. And if you think that's weird, there's another way to say me gusta mucho, or I like it a lot, and that's just like in English, I love it. You can say me encanta. It means the same as me gusta mucho, me encanta. I love it. The literal translation is, to me, me, it enchants, encanta. To me, it enchants. Literally, you're saying it enchants me or it charms me. Remember, encantado, charmed or pleased to meet you. It's the same, from the same word here. It enchants me, me encanta. If you think that sounds weird, know that McDonald's chose that as its logo. I'm loving it. Remember the slogan, I'm loving it, was translated to Spanish as me encanta. And then you'll notice that in the second column of the review sheet in your workbook, it says other useful words and expressions. Those are just words and expressions like well or and or neither, either, that will be useful to you for your whole Spanish-speaking life. So I'll give you an example here of this in a context and see if you can figure out what it means. Pues a mí no me gusta ni el rap ni el hip hop, tampoco. Me gusta más el country. También me gusta el rock. I'm picking music as a thing to talk about because notice that all these words come from English. They're actually genres of music that originated in English-speaking culture. Of course, there are genres like salsa or merengue or bachata that come from Latin American cultures and flamenco that comes from Spanish-speaking cultures. So notice that we use the original words in Spanish, the same words as they are in English. Okay, so what does that mean? Pues is well. Well, to me, it doesn't please me either the rap nor the hip hop. Usually we translate these as either or neither. And then this is neither. So literally it's, well, to me, it doesn't please me either rap nor hip hop neither. I like more the country. Also, I like the rock.